And I can tell you over the last 2 months, each month has been a drastic reduction in the number of eggs that we've received. Hey guys, welcome back to the Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Amber, and today I wanted to bring you into the chicken coop and talk to you a little bit about how I prepare my chickens for going into the fall winter season. So as you guys know, I spoil my chickens. They have mister systems for the heat, they get fermented food several times a week, they get the supplements that they need. I keep lavender oil in their coop and peppermint oil in their coop and on their roosting bars for parasites, and they're pretty spoiled. They're not pets by any means, they are still livestock, but I do try to take really good care of them. Going into fall, they will naturally go into molt. It's a natural process where they lose their feathers, or lose a lot of their feathers, and then regrow them in time for winter or the cold weather. Feathers are primarily protein. So in the way you can kind of tell that you're not having a protein deficiency in your chicken's diet is that you will see the feathers on the ground. There are feathers everywhere. So they're not eating the feathers. They are definitely just losing them. The chickens are not trying to eat them. Some of my chickens you'll see in the video, some of them are missing feathers on their neck, and that's because they are weird. And they keep trying to stick their heads out of the coop. They did it over the summer or the springtime when the vegetables were growing outside. I had put those wood planks there to prevent them from picking at the garden. Well, these girls are trying to jump up and still stick their heads through there, and they're rubbing the feathers off of their necks. So I'm going to have to work something there to try to combat that. Obviously, the garden is pretty much done here, so they're growing them back now. Next spring, I'll have to come up with a different solution, or maybe I just need to go taller. I've never seen them do that before in previous years. They've, one piece of, a foot just to keep the leaves from coming in. If they could see them, they were jumping halfway up the fence trying to stick their little heads through there. But that's a different thing. That's not part of the molt. But to regrow the feathers, their bodies are going to use a lot of protein to do that. So this time of year, I really bump up their protein options. I try to up their feed, their standard laying mesh, from a 16% to at least an 18%. That gives them a little bit more on just their daily diet. Their fermented food that I give them, that is a mix of grain, their food, their laying food, scratch grain, and then like this is alfalfa pellets. I normally, through the rest of the year, it's a couple times a week. This time of year, I'm really going to bump that up, and I'm going to try to keep this in front of them all the times that they have an option for it, just to provide some different sources of protein for them. This is also the time of year when I feel that they are more susceptible to parasites and things like that, because their little bodies are focusing on regrowing feathers. So this is the time of year that I'm inspecting their droppings in the coop to make sure that I don't see any signs of parasites. This is the time of year that I add the extra plastic feeders with apple cider vinegar in the water. It's an option for them to get some apple cider vinegar just to help with digestion. If I see any signs, I will be very diligent about putting out some DE or diatomaceous earth into the run to try to keep that down. I will keep their coop extra clean. If it starts to get a little bit dirty in there, I'm gonna clean it, or add fresh bedding. I keep the oils in there. So I keep peppermint oil and lavender oil on the roost bars and in their nesting boxes, and just around the coop in general, to try to keep some of those parasites in that away. These are just some of the things that I try to do for them, because I know that their little bodies are just focusing on trying to regrow feathers, and I want them to be able to do that in a healthy manner. They've just fought a really tough summer with, really hot temperatures that we've been talking to you guys about all summer long. So it's kind of a neat thing that we're trying, we're monitoring how much food we're producing, and we're trying to grow and reach that 80% goal. So I'm counting and weighing every egg that we get, and I can tell you over the last 2 months, each month has been a drastic reduction in the number of eggs that we've received from the girls, and then them going into molt just makes that a little bit harder for them in production. This is also the time of year that I will make sure that I put a calcium supplement with them to have access to if they need it. Chickens are pretty good about, if I put the supplement out and they need it, their bodies know that they need it, so they will look for it. So that's just kind of my whole goal, is I try to put those type things in front of them so that they have access to them if they need them, and really bump up that protein intake for the next 6 to 8 weeks is what they molt. And then we'll be into wintertime, so I'll really be trying to, make sure that they're getting some extra protein just to keep them through the wintertime for warmth and that type thing. So they'll probably stay on an 18% feed through wintertime, but definitely for the next 6 to 8 weeks, they will have extra sources of protein in front of them pretty much daily. And that's just kind of my way to try to help them through and really ease that stress on them and hopefully keep them healthy and happy. But that's just what I wanted to touch base with you. It's that time of year. That's what we're doing here on the homestead. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be glad to help you there. Again, if you like the video, please leave us a like, subscribe, share, and we will see you next time.